Yo, what's up, YouTube? This video it's gonna be quick. It's gonna be an explanation or rather a follow-up to my previous video. This is disgusting. And in this video, I talk about what's going on X. If you have been paying attention of what's going on X or you watched the video, I pretty much explain how right now or on January 1st, Elon Musk greenlit certain features and removed restrictions, right, on Grok, such that it was able to allow you to put a bikini on anything, including women and children, right, which is absolutely a disgusting thing to do, to have on your platform, to greenlight. It's irresponsible, and I maintain that, right? I maintain that, do not regret my level of outrage and disgust with the platform. These are real people that are being exploited. I can't really say it for YouTube, but you know what I mean, right? It's harassment and it's disgusting. That being said, right, here the part of this where I don't regret what I did, but I will say that I am unfortunately gonna have to go back on my word just slightly. Now, I will hedge this with this. Since making that post and on January 3rd, they have announced and said that we take action against illegal content on X, including, CSAM, by removing it, permanently suspending accounts, and working with local governments and law enforcement as necessary. That is exactly what I was talking about before. I was saying, hey, you made this feature, you greenlit this feature, you removed the restrictions, right? The very least you can do is take down these posts, work with law enforcement to hold these people accountable, because people are responsible for the things they make. I firmly believe that to be true. I think anyone who thinks about it for more than a few seconds knows that to be true. And so this post was made on January 3rd. And even though it's not the best, right? Because still, I mean, Musk greenlit the feature, he allowed it, he removed the restrictions, and it has created this level of pandemonium that unfortunately we had to see. This is still something, right? And it is part of at least what I've asked for. Now, I did say that I would stop using X and that I would only use it exclusively to shit on other people that are promoting X, right? And also I would use it to promote Blue Sky, I believe, something like that. That's no longer going to be true for a couple reasons. For one, crazier stuff has happened since these events have occurred. Two things have happened. Trump had abducted the leader of Venezuela, who obviously is corrupt, he's evil, and definitely has crimes that he needs to pay for sure. However, he has invaded another country's sovereignty, he has disrupted the world order, and is not really doing this for the benefit of anyone except our U.S. oil companies, right? The reasons why you can get into it is because, we were making negotiations and, offers to remove our sanctions against Venezuela. And had Maduro complied, we would have done it. We would have shook his hand. We would have done what we wanted and get the oil, right? And work with his regime. It has nothing to do with justice of narco-terrorism. It has nothing to do with saving the Venezuelan people. It's to line his own pockets, that which is being funded and provided for by the U.S. oil companies, who he tipped off about the event that it would occur before it actually occurred. He self-admitted this, as opposed to informing Congress, right? So that happened. And on top of that, another event happened, which is the ICE incident, of Renee Good. And I'm not really going to go into too much detail. You can literally just go on my X page if you want to find out exactly what I think about the situation. What happened is a tragic loss of life. It's sad. And what's sadder and more disgusting is that there are people who support this, who are giving excuses for this. And that's really the heart of it. These are huge events, and they unfortunately have a lot of people on not the other side, but just the side of defending it. And for my sake, I do not feel comfortable sitting across the other side of the internet, sort of just twiddling my thumbs, watching this discourse happen. And I am a firm believer that people like me exist, people who I believe are able to see the difference between right and wrong, and that these people have seldom few voices on the internet to align themselves with. Right now, there's just a lot of rhetoric from big content creators. I mean, you have Asmongold, you have Tectone, right? Who align themselves with what is happening, who give excuses, who defend what has happened, and support what has happened. And I think that's sad. It's bullshit. And so I don't want to remain quiet. At least not on X, right? I don't want to remain passive to this, right? I feel like the people like me, the people who I aim to appeal to, my audience, ought to have, someone like me, or be able to see, rather, me talk about these things and give a voice to the other side of it, right? Not for the sake of it being the other side, but for the sake of it being much more quiet, much less spoken about, right? And for that reason, I'm going to be using X. I'm going to be using X, right? You can call me a hypocrite. That's fine. I'll block you because it's very clear you're not interested in any sort of discussion. You're more interested in calling me a hypocrite or saying that I'm going back on my word, which I'll admit, like, I am, right? I said I wouldn't use X, and now I am using X, okay? To that extent, I have. But I think there are more important things than sitting across the other side of the internet and, unfortunately, like with Blue Sky, right? Blue Sky right now just doesn't have a lot of posts about gaming interests or more particularly Uma Musume, and also including horse racing. These are things that I'm interested in, that I would have wanted to participate in the discussion for, and there's just not that many of it. A lot of it is politics, right? A lot of it is news, and just unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on who you ask, right? The users of Blue Sky are very left-leaning, which I am too, right? But I'm not trying to talk with people who are left-leaning. I'm not trying to project my voice to the people who are already in agreement with me, right? I want to be able to project my voice to the people who are undecided, who don't know which way they want to go. They just see their popular, most favorite content creators saying, yeah, get them, shoot that girl from the windshield, right? And I don't want to say, I don't want to be in a position where I didn't say anything, right? I said nothing, or I didn't do anything. I strongly believe, again, that people look to influencers, look to content creators, and look to them to sort of feel their own voice, if that makes sense, right? To feel their own voice, to feel their own feelings. Like, I really think in my heart of hearts that there's just something wrong about this, right? But I can't really articulate, I can't put it into words. And if that is where what they believe, it is my feeling that I have a moral duty to give more power to that voice, right? And sort of add to that number. Like, obviously, it's not just me. Obviously, I'm not the paragon of the left, right? But I lend my voice to that larger voice that hopefully reaches more people and gives power to the people who don't have a voice, if that makes sense. The problem with Blue Sky is unfortunately doesn't really have much to do with like lack of features or infrastructure. Again, like I've said before in my video, the structure is there, the algorithm is there. It's there to take over or rather replace X. Let's say if X somehow gets nuked, right, or taken down by government order, or I don't know, right? Then Blue Sky can definitely take its place, right? I think it's definitely, at least framework wise, the viable, the next step to that. However, unfortunately, right now, not only are interests seldom like post about, or like they're not really in my feed, but unfortunately, Blue Sky just suffers from a numbers issue. Like, Blue Sky has around 40 million registered users as of mid 2025. You don't have to take the AI for, at its word. You can click any of these links, right? 13 million active users in the last 90 days. And that, I guess, maybe to some people, right, that sounds like a lot. There's like 41 million. That sounds big, right? Great. Except X right now has around 650 million monthly active users. I think that number, if you take a look at these links, is more closer to around 550, right? 550, 600, around there, ballpark. And that's a lot of people. that's a lot more people. That's 10 times, right? And that's that many more people who I hope to reach out to and, sort of not influence, as in like, oh, I'm brainwashing them, but like, hey, this is what I believe in. If you feel just slightly in your heart that this is more in line with what you believe in, here is something you can align yourself to, right? That's basically what it is in a nutshell. Again, as I said earlier and before, like, it doesn't have to be Blue Sky, it could be Threads, but like, look at Threads. This is my thread, or not my thread, but this is my feed on Threads. It just looks bad. It doesn't look good. This is clearly made for a phone. I guess I could add more columns, I don't know, but it's not made for the PC, right? It's not made for a PC client, and it's just not, it doesn't look that good. I will say that Threads has, I think, around 400 or 350 monthly active users, which is like, wow, amazing, right? That's pretty close to X, and like, that's cool. But what I also see is that there is like, okay, hey, there's anime or whatever. Is there Uma Musume, right? There's seldom Uma Musume content, unfortunately. If I go to recent, right, there's a few cosplays, right, a few fan arts, and not too much discussion about Uma Musume, about what's happening in JP or Global, or about, I probably should stop scrolling this, or about actual horse racing, which I'm very, very much a fan of. Like, I believe if you're into real horse racing, you could go to Contena, you could go see Nakayama san, right? You could see like Archie, right? AB Racing, right? He's a Japanese horse racing comic. There's like so many people here, and unfortunately, um, you know, whatever happened on X on January 1st is not enough to sort of convince everyone to just make the big shift, the big migration. It's just not. The fact of the matter is that there's a lot of people here, or at least perceived to be. Like, I know a lot of them are bots, but at least it's perceived to be a lot of people here. And so a lot of people are going to be here because it gives you the most engagement, the most interactions, and it gets your word out to the people who are there because they've been there. Because X wasn't X. X took Twitter's user base, and now it's what it is, right? Unfortunately, X has a lot of active users that are talking about Uma Musume, real horse racing, anime, gaming, what streamers do, which, you know, is something I do pay attention to, that I am interested in, right? People like Asmongold, Tectone, I don't know, just like Sneeko, like what are they saying about the current events, XQC, these people with large audiences, tangible influence, right? You might think like, who cares, right? It's just online. No, but people care. There are people that follow them, right? And care and talk about these things. And those are real people. Even if they're like maybe becoming a caricature of themselves, some of them are, right? The people that follow them, the people that talk and see them and align themselves with their views are real people. And I don't want to ignore that. I will say, like, and admit, like, this is definitely self-serving for sure. I am gonna like post on X regularly, like if I'm streaming, if I'm doing something cool or whatever, because I also do have to reach out to people who play Uma Musume. There's a lot of people apparently on Twitter. I don't know how, but there are, right? People who like horse racing. I want to connect these two worlds, right? I want to be that bridge. I also want to talk about issues that are important to me, that I feel like people need to see a voice like mine to align themselves with. I do want to say as well that I'm not interested at this moment to make like some sort of big political shift or like shifting the main focus of my content. That's going to be Uma Musume pretty much all day, every day. I want to work and talk with Uma Musume creators. I want to collab with them. I want to continue to make guides. I want to continue to give information. I still want to promote real horse racing and Uma Musume. These are the things that I like. These are the things that I love. And politics is just one part, one side of me and what I care about. Okay. And there is more than enough room, and there ought to be room in my heart for the things that I am positively interested in, that I love and enjoy. Okay. So Uma Musume is still going to be the main focus. My streams are still going to be places where I'm just going to be talking about the topics at hand, whether it's Uma Musume, real horse racing, all that stuff. If there are like people who are coming into my chat and they're going to introduce like something that's way off topic that we're not talking about, those people are going to be timed out for 24 hours. And if they keep doing it, they're going to be banned, because I understand that we ought to have a space where we talk about serious things. I don't really think I am able to sustain that sort of space, but I want the freedom to talk about it freely on different platforms. And we should also have a space where we talk about the things we love and are positive about, and that we want to share with and create and see in this world. So that's what I'm talking about. And yeah, that's pretty much it.